name is Tom. Thank you for coming along with me on another journey across the plains. I'm glad that you're here. I've had some requests here lately about how to dig the perfect plug. So I figured today seems like a good day. We've had a good amount of rain out here, so the soil's good and ready to go. I'll also show you kind of what not to do. We have permission on this place to dig up just about anything that we want just because it's set for demolition. So I have the perfect opportunity to show you what happens when you dig a plug when it's still dry out. So we'll kind of caution you on that. I was told once that there was a man back in '99 that dug the most perfect plug and the worms just sat there in awe at it. Well, that was long before I started, and I think he's full of crap. There's no such thing as a perfect plug, just want to get that out of the way right now. What you can do though is minimize the damage and make sure that there's little to no evidence that you were ever there, which really should honestly be everybody's goal. So, okay guys, let's move on over here and we'll get started. Okay, so let's say you're using your machine and you've kind of pinpointed this area right here. That's just a big chunk of brass, and it's obvious that it's on top of the ground. There's several different things you can do. Every machine is different, but universally what you can use is the walk-off method to make sure that you've got everything centered. Being centered is the key. You don't want to end up stabbing anything that you're wanting to retrieve, especially if, say, it was like a key date coin or something like that. So what you can actually do is take your machine and you just walk it back until you hear it's silent. And then you can go over here, walk it back till it's silent. Now, what I like to do is I like to aim for this corner right here where those lines intersected. So if you go this way, it stops here. If you go this way, it stops here. So if you use this corner, you should theoretically miss whatever item that you're going for as long as you pinpointed it correctly. So now, what you want to do is go ahead and put your spade down in the ground and make sure that you're using a good shovel like this Lesh here or something similar. Don't be using a garden shovel. You're just gonna end up leaving a massive hole in the ground, and it's not gonna look great when you're done. What I do want you to notice is that right here I started over here and I came around in a horseshoe style fashion. So what you want to do is flip that plug over. There we go. So it's on a hinge. So now you get down in here, pinpoint what you got, retrieve it, and now it's time to close up the plug. So what you want to do is take the very bottom half of the plug. Just take a little bit off like this, and you want to make it rounded off just a little bit. It seems to fit better back in the hole a little bit after you've been digging around. If you dig a plug and then just turn around and do it, it'll obviously follow right back in the hole there. So, but if you do this, you've been digging around in the hole, it's easier. Just make sure the bottom of the hole is similar to what you have in the plug. Also, use a like a little dish towel or something. It really helps to make sure that you keep the soil and stuff out. One other option you can do, and I'll show you here real quick. So if you've been digging around in here and you got dirt out here in the ground, now this is going to be ugly, especially in a yard where somebody actually cares about what's going on in the grass. So what you want to do is you want to push it back in here. And then there's going to be a little bit of soil left in here. And you can feather it through. Your best option is always going to be using a dish towel, hands down. You can't beat that because then none of the dirt is in the grass to begin with. But if you're out here like in this farm field where I'm at, this is a perfectly acceptable method because it cleans it up, and then by the time the next rain comes around, you're good to go. So anyway, when you're done here, get this all good to go. Mash it up in the bottom, and then get up here, and I want you to step right in the middle, step on the edges, make sure it gets down nice and flat to the ground. Come through, feather it through with your hands, and voila, you're good to go. The plug's disappeared. Okay guys, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a shot here of what this looks like. Now I want to preface this. These holes were dug knowingly that there's a huge chance of them dying. This house that you see behind me, it has an expiration date. The lot's going to be plowed under and everything, so we have a unique opportunity here. It's perfectly cool with the homeowner. In fact, actually, he's encouraged us to just to keep going because there's so much stuff here. He'd rather that we find some of this stuff before it gets turned into a parking lot for the county. But anyway, let me show you what this looks like here. Now, these were dug probably about 2 weeks ago, and 2 weeks ago we were just as dry as can be. When you would flip these plugs over, the plug would just disintegrate and fall apart. It was about 90 degrees the last couple weeks. This is what you get. If you want to leave a good mark on the metal detecting community, don't dig in people's yards when it's hot outside, because this is what you're going to end up with. Now, there's suggestions out there that you could try pouring like a bottle of water on it to try to keep the grass alive. You know, it might work. In all honesty, though, just don't dig in nice manicured areas. This goes for parks too. This right here would really upset a homeowner if they came out and found that in their yard. And you know, they talk to their neighbors, so if you did something like that, you might very well ruin your chances to ever come back. So hey guys, I'm gonna add one more part into this video here. Ted doesn't know this is about to happen, so this will be totally off the cuff. He's already giving me a dirty look. Hey, Ted, when it comes to digging a plug, what would you tell new people? People that are new to the hobby, what would you tell them about digging a plug?
If it's really dry, don't dig.
Yeah, I just showed them that ring underneath of that tree over there. It's just blatantly obvious that it's just dead as can be.
When it's dry, a person shouldn't dig unless you've got permission from the landowner that he don't care what happens to his yard.
Absolutely.
I mean, if it gets all tore up, he doesn't care because he's selling it or it's going to be plowed up by a plow. Dig away, but make sure that you get that okayed first. Even when you go knock on the door, say, well, we do dig holes, so they know. They don't go out in their yard with the lawnmower and go, oh my God. So yeah, just be careful with your plugs. I always cut a three-sided plug and leave one side attached to the grass. Never cut a full round plug out.
Absolutely.
That way the grass don't die.
Well, thanks, Ted. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Okay, guys, I've got one more person I'm gonna put on the spot here. Here we go.
For what?
Hey, Ryan, what would you tell somebody that's new to the hobby about how to dig a plug properly?
I would say cut the plug on 3 hinges. Don't use a shovel like this one. My leash broke, so I'm stuck with it.
So this is the property that we have permission to be doing this at. That's the only reason why we can get away with it on this one.
Yeah, I would personally recommend using a small hand digger, preferably one that's a little bit sharper, almost like a blade, because that's going to get you the cleanest cut on your plugs.
So, and why would you want a clean plug?
Well, for one, you could tear up the owner's grass, bury rings. Just a lot of bad things can happen if you don't cut a good plug. It also makes the hobby look bad, and a homeowner across the street may see that and think, oh no, I don't want that in my yard.
So, absolutely. So, well, thanks, Ryan. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Well, guys, if you wanted another channel you'd like to check out, that's Ryan with Bug Eater Metal Detecting. I'll drop a link in the description for you below. But okay, guys, we'll see you on the next hole.